Hey guys, it's Mr. Mom again, or Mr. M, and we're going to continue part 2 of making our ancient tomb from paper. So we should have been here from the last time where we created this structure here, which is the basis. This is the tomb wall, the folded area. Here's the floor, and these are the pillars within inside of an ancient Egyptian tomb. So we're going to continue on here by going back to this part where we had originally marked to create it, to create this piece here with the pillars. So what we're going to do now is we're going to continue, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to fold this back. So just one side, I'm going to fold this flap, this long part of this rectangle down to that middle line that we created before. Okay, so just fold it to the line, crease it out. Now it's always better to use like a sketchbook or carded paper because it's a bit stronger than using A4 copy paper, printing paper. So then once I'm done that, I'll open it back up. Now go ahead and start to mark these lines because they become really important when we start to cut our sarcophagus out. Okay, I don't know why I'm having such a difficult time saying that word. So now I've split these long rectangle. I'm going to call this one number 1. Okay, and I'm going to call this one number 2. Now we're going to need to do the same thing with this fold here. And the easiest way is just to go ahead and fold the whole thing. Fold it up from the bottom because we want it to make 4 equal height rectangle boxes. So after that fold on this side, I'm going to mark this number 3 and number 4. Now, just for the sake of it, this is the floor. This side here is going to be the main wall. So this is the back of the wall. I'm going to go ahead and mark this whole piece. Even though we have a line here, you don't need to mark this line, okay, because this is actually going to be one part of the wall. So I'm going to mark this number 5. So this is 5. This whole side here is 5. So things that you will need is make sure you have your scissors. You need some glue, and you'll need some tape for what we're going to do with this part. And the other thing you're going to need is another paper of equal size. Now I started this using B4 paper, but like I said, you can use A4 or A3. Obviously, if you use an A4, it's going to be a lot smaller. So a miniature ancient tomb, but also easier and faster to decorate. But if you can even go even larger and go A3. So I need another B4 paper, okay, and I'll put this to the side. It'll come back later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it back over to here. And here is where we're going to start to make the 3-dimensional sarcophagus, okay? So what I need to do is from block 2 to block 3, you can use a pencil if you're afraid you're going to make a mistake. So you can just kind of mark it here first before we start to cut it. So here's my pencil. And what you want to do is, this is going to be the width of your sarcophagus. But you don't want it to be too close to the pillars because there's not a lot of space in between. So what I want to do here is I want to make, let's say, maybe I'll use the size of my, if you look at your thumb, the first mark in your thumb, I like using my thumb, don't I? So I'll go here, and then I'll make my sarcophagus beginning right here. Okay, I'll go to the other side, I'll flip it over, use the same thumb. So right about there, here. So that's where my line's going to be, the distance it's going to be from the edges, from the pillars. You can use a ruler if you want to, or just sketch it out. Use your eyes. So from block 2, nothing in block 1. Block 2 goes all the way down to 3. Same thing on this side. Block 2 goes down to block 3. Okay. Right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I can make, now 4, it's going to be a slight angle. Okay. 4 is going to be a slight angle like this. Not too much. You don't want to make a triangle. You're just going to make it just a very slight angle. If you even want to, you can even make it straight down. I just do it this way because I don't want it to appear. I'll probably modify this later when I think about it some more. But for the sake of what we've already done, I'm going to continue with this method. Okay. So I'm just inking this. You guys do not need to ink this. I'm just inking it so that you can clearly see that this line that I've made is a line that I'm about to cut. Okay. Now this part gets tricky because I need to cut this out to make a U shape. And it's important, don't cut number 5. You're only cutting 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's its own paper here. Do not cut 5, so you're going to have to separate it. Now there's a couple of ways I thought about doing this. What I did before was I cut it from this side, which is the floor side. Another way we can cut is we can cut from this corner here, but the problem is if you're not careful, you don't want to cut the whole thing apart. But I'm going to do it from the top where I've done it before. So I'm going to cut a U shape like this pattern here. So I'm going to cut this line here, and I'm going to tape this part back together again, okay? So starting at between 1 and 2, this line. Then I'm going to turn, and then I'm going to cut down. Okay, get to my number 4, which is a slight diagonal. Cut here, because I want to have a little bit more base here. But again, like I said, if you wanted to, you can go all the way down straight. Now here I can open it up, and I can cut this line that I created here. Okay. Next, diagonal up again, and then straight up and stop there. Okay. Now I've done this part. Okay. So this part I've cut away like this. Okay. I cut this away. So I'm going to fold this back to the way it was before, like this. So you should have something like this. Now I need to fix this. I need to get some tape. Okay, get some tape. It doesn't matter about down here because remember this is underneath. Ooh, my tape is a little bit long. I need to put this right back the way I cut it. So line it back up. Okay, just like that. Put the tape on. Okay, make sure it's nice. Now I went over it and I don't want it to, so I used too much tape. I probably should have used it, but I'm not going to let this tape go to waste either. So I'm going to cut this part out. Okay, you went over. I don't want to waste the tape. I'll just reinforce this to make it strong again. I'll just put it back on here. Okay, whatever excess just makes it stronger. So this is what you should have. Now if you go back to making your T shape, remember putting these through, you have this shape again, like this. Now you have a tongue. Look at that. Or like a door or a tongue or something like that. Okay. So here is where, this is where when we put it together like this, the floor is here. This is going to fold up like this, and this is going to stand on its own. So this is going to be your sarcophagus. Okay. So this is the basics here. This is where we need the other sheet of paper. This one here, the other B4 paper, or whatever paper you're using. Fold this in half. Okay. And just for the sake of it, just to clarify, this is going to be part 5. So we're going to glue 5 to 5. I'm using 1/2 of it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the glue on this one. If I turn, so this one, remember this one, oops, messy table. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to glue this 5 onto here. It's best not to glue here because remember you have an opening here for the pillars. So it's best to glue this paper down. So I'm going to use glue stick. I'm going to glue this. Make sure you get as much glue, and this glue is really, really sticky. That means it's going to stay on really well. Hopefully you have better glue than I do. You know what? This is going to take longer for me to do. I'm just going to grab another glue stick. That means if it's sticky like that, that means that glue is kind of starting to dry up. A good glue stick will come on more smoothly like this. There you go. So you can barely see it. It's not clumping up. Do it. Do as much as you can. Okay. Try to get that area that clumped up. All right. Now, what we want to do is we want to put this on evenly. So the reason why the glue clumped up before, it probably wasn't shut properly. So I'm going to make sure this one's shut properly. I can put it here, or I can open it up and I want to line up the edges together. Okay. The reason why I glued on this side of the paper is because I don't want to accidentally glue the pillars to the other side. So now that I've lined it up nicely, I'll go ahead and flatten it down. Okay. And you'll notice the pillars, there's no glue there, so it won't stick. So now I've glued this side. So if I fold it like this, you see everything is kind of self-contained. So you still have this piece that's loose, like that, right? Okay, so this is where what we need to do is I'm going to say, we're not going to glue the sarcophagus down. We're going to glue everything else down to this side of the paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the areas that we're going to glue, okay? So this is the area we're going to glue. Only this area, okay? It's very important. Also, make sure that the pillars aren't coming through. They should be on the other side, okay? You still have that T shape. So now, again, don't glue down here. Glue up here, okay? So I'm going to glue this. All the areas that I marked. Okay, even down to the side. This is why I did this angle, so that it gives it a bigger base. But like I said, if you're very careful and you're good at cutting, good at gluing, then you know you can make a straight line down there. Okay, so I've glued those areas, and I'm just going to bring it flat, straight down. Okay, bring it down, and then I'm going to glue it. I'm going to spread it down here like this. Okay. Now, my pillars are not glued down, so they can still stand up. So if I fold this, this is going to fold a lot better, okay, to do this. Now, it's great if you put it against a wall, like that's how it stands up. Let's see, I don't have a wall here. Let's use my tape dispenser here, and you see how it just stands up like that against something, okay? Now we can make some legs to this later. I'm not going to do that now. This is all I needed you guys to do for right now. Because this is a collapsible and foldable tomb. This sarcophagus can fold out, and then we place it here like this. You don't need to glue that down. Okay, so there you go. There's the sarcophagus. There's the tomb. Let me center that for you. So, because it can always fold back down. And we don't want to glue it down because we're going to need flat surfaces to decorate and, you know, using the ancient Egyptian artwork that they used in tombs. So that's going to be the next part that we're going to do. But all I needed you to do right now was get to this stage right here. Okay, so I'll leave it like that. And there you go. Let me turn it over a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm talking about to the camera. Look at that. With the sarcophagus, of course, because gravity is pulling it down. But there you go. There's your three-dimensional structure of an ancient Egyptian tomb. Okay. Well, again, I hope you had fun doing this. If you had any problems following, just slow down my video and just pause it where you need to do it step by step. Okay. I hope you enjoyed doing it. I hope you can see the potential of what's going to happen next, what we're going to do. So well done, everybody. Thank you for watching this part of the video. So I'll catch you guys again next time, okay? Bye.